it's Tina and I'm back, and I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe. If you're also back, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me again. But if you're new and maybe you like what you see, please consider subscribing because we have tons of fun here on this channel talking about makeup and all things beauty. And we love Get Ready With Me videos where I play in some makeup and chat with you guys. And today's video is going to be a chatty Get Ready With Me video. I am trying out some new products, but I'm not even talking to you really about the products. I'm just chatting with you guys because I'm getting ready to go out for a celebration dinner for my nephew because he got into his postgraduate program with added grants. So he's set for the next couple of years for school. I'm so proud of him. So we're going out. I'm getting ready, and I ended up talking about my upbringing, like just growing up in Jamaica, some of the things, like, yeah, you'll see. And then I also spoke a little bit, just a little bit, about JACLYN Hill and her foolishness, but that's towards the end of the video. I am trying out some of the new palettes, well, new to me. These are from Glaminatrix. I did pick up 3 of the palettes. So I have the Nearly Natural palette, the Nocturnal, and the Glamorous palette. All the things. So I am doing a look with a couple of these palettes. I'm also trying out the new Gucci foundation. That's what I'm wearing right now. And I have the primer as well as like House Labs. I have one of the blushes on, but I am just getting ready as I would if I'm just going out on my own rather than just for a video. So if you want to see how I created this look and chat with me, then let's go ahead and jump right into it because it's going to be a long video. So I will talk to you soon. Alright guys, so as usual, I'm starting off with a clean, freshly washed face. Actually just got out the shower. I already filmed a look today and I filmed a couple of videos, so my under eyes are looking extremely dark, and I don't know if that's like residual mascara or I'm just tired as hell. I'm leaning towards tired as hell because I tend to remove my makeup pretty well, so I shouldn't have any residue, but child, I don't feel good. I don't feel that great. So I've had this same kind of nagging low-grade sore throat for the past week and a half, and I don't know what's going on. Let me go in with some moisturizer. This is from Make Beauty. It is their Succulent Skin Gel Cream, which is a serum weight moisturizer. This sounds delectable. So I'm trying out some Make Beauty products. I mentioned in a video, I'll link it over here, I mentioned that there are a few brands that I wanted to try this year that I've heard great things about, and I was curious about their product line, so I wanted to try them out. Make Beauty is one of them. So they have a line of skincare as well as complexion products. So I am testing them out, and I just got my order with the skincare. So we trying them out, child. And this moisturizer was recommended for oily skin because it is supposed to be lightweight. So hopefully that will perk me up a bit because I am dragging and I am getting ready to go to Ruth Chris with my family. So we are about to celebrate my nephew getting into Mayo Clinic for his post-grad degree. Oh my God. I'm so proud of him. He's such a good kid. Oh my God. So he is graduating this year, right? So when does that happen? May, usually? Yeah. And he applied for graduate and PhD programs. So going for his master's and his PhD combined. So he applied for all these fellowship programs and of course scholarship programs at various schools. I know, what's that one in California? I had to go double check, child. Like I said, I'm tired. So he got into USC, so, you know, University of Southern California, and he applied to MIT. He had done a summer program with them last year and he didn't get in, which is so sad. I'm so sad because, like, if you get into MIT, like, yeah, And so we were hoping that he would get into Mayo because that was actually his top choice. It was between Mayo Clinic and MIT, with Mayo Clinic honestly being his #1. So not getting into MIT wasn't as big a deal, but we're gonna celebrate. Oh my God. So he got a full ride scholarship, right? In addition to a fellowship grant. So he got additional money. He already has his full room and board and all that. Now he got a fellowship grant as well as like additional money for travel. So it's like, this kid, I'm telling you, so proud of him. He's doing so well. So we're gonna celebrate him getting into Mayo. He got into, like I said, USC and Mayo, and he's accepting Mayo. But here's the thing, oh my God, I felt so bad. And this is something that I warned his father about. So his father is my older brother, and my brother had him when he was 24, right? Yeah, 24. So I was 18. This was 2001. I was still in Jamaica. I was leaving Jamaica for September. That was the plan. So yeah, 2001. I was supposed to leave Jamaica to be in the States for September so I could start college, but we know what happened September 2001, right? 9/11. So I could not travel. Like, travel was shut down. So I didn't actually make it to New York, and I was going to New York. So definitely no travel. So I didn't end up in New York until the end of October of 2001. So I didn't start school until January. Someone asked me what this little gold brush was that I use for my brows. It's from Iconic London. It comes in a set with their brow silk, which is actually a pretty decent little product. I just don't use it. It's a great little waxy product that can behave as a primer for your eyebrows as well as like a hold-in wax. But I don't use the wax, I just use the brush because the brush is so cute. Oh my God. So yeah, my nephew was born in May, right? So I was there for the first few months. And before they had him, I asked, like, what's the name? Like, you chose a name, what's going on? So they told me the name. And let me tell you right now, it is not a resume name. And I said to my brother, hey, maybe you want to go ahead and like not give him that name. That'd be great because it's not gonna look that great on a resume, right? And it's sad that you have to think about these things with a kid. Like, my name is easy. My name is a resume name. It's Tina. And my last name, easy resume name. It's racially ambiguous. No one knows if I'm black, white, orange, or purple. It's a pretty simple name too, but you know, it's a resume name. No one is gonna know my race simply by my name. But my nephew, the name that they were gonna give him, that they did give him, is a name that's obviously black. Y'all know what I'm saying, right? And it's so sad that I, as an 18-year-old, thinking like the foresight was that he's probably gonna be in America at some point because I was headed to America and my brother was going to come after, right? My brother was over 18, so his processing, like his paperwork, if you're an immigrant to the US and you've gone through the paperwork for immigration, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're over 18, then the processing takes longer. So my brother was gonna eventually be in the US, right? That was the assumption, that my brothers would be in the US. My mother had already been here for years at this point, like over a decade. So of course you're gonna come where your mother resides, right? And it's so bad that I was already thinking that. That's what I'm thinking back now, and I'm like, as a young adult, you're already thinking in terms of the racial profiling that happens in the US. Isn't that terrible? So I was like, maybe give that as his middle name. Let's just say the mother was like, oh, but it's French. It's not a French name, but they have an accent over an E and they call it a French. It's not French, okay? No, it's not. And I'm like, don't do that. And it's funny because I'm used to those ethnic names from Jamaica. There's certain names that you will hear that are automatically Jamaican, okay? Like Ricardo, Dwayne, Donovan, Like automatic Jamaican names, all right? So it's not like I wasn't used to those kinds of names, like Shauna Kia, you know, Peter Gia. Like these are Jamaican names, all right? So it's not like I wasn't used to those names, but I just, in my head, all I was thinking was he's gonna come to the US and they're gonna discriminate against him once they see his name on an application. So give him a resume name. And we've come a far way with that, thankfully, but it's still not enough. It's still apparent, let's be real, and I knew this was gonna affect my nephew in the future. So when my brother went through his citizenship process, so first you come here as a permanent resident. That's what them come here say. You come here with your green card. So you're a permanent resident, right? And then after, I believe it's 5 years of residency and like filing taxes and all that, then you can go ahead. Why is it so dark? Hold on. There you go. Much better. So after 5 years, you can go ahead and go for your citizenship, right? If you're married, if you got married to get your citizenship, then it takes, I think it's 2 years after you can file for the citizenship. But if you're just, you know, like my brother was through his mother, it's 5 years. So anyway, when he was doing his citizenship, I was like, listen, telling you right now, change my nephew's name, okay? Because he did all of them, all the kids together. I'm like, change my nephew's name, please. He's gonna run into issues. We already abbreviate his name. We never call him by his full government name. It's an abbreviation. So that didn't tell you already that the name should have been a little bit different. Anyway, he wasn't able to change his name, but my brother ended up changing his own name, okay? Because my brother has a very Middle Eastern sounding name. And my brother looks very Indian, right? So I have like that biracial look. I pass mostly for black, but you can tell that I'm mixed with something. You know what I mean? You're like, something is up here. So my brothers look Indian. They look straight Indian. And then my brother has an Indian first name. So it's just good times. And it wasn't an issue in Jamaica because a lot of people had that name. It wasn't like some outlandish name. But here in the US, it's obvious what his race is or his ethnicity or what he looks like. It's one of those names, all right? It's kind of like a Chad or a Brad. Like, what race do you automatically think? You think white, right? So it's one of those names that is like, you're Indian. So he actually changed his name. So he swapped his middle name with his first name. So it's still the same name. It's just swapped around. And I was like, oh, you should have done that for my nephew. But for whatever reason, I don't think he was able to. I think my nephew himself has to do that if he wants to swap his middle name around. So it's funny seeing my brother's name now come up as his middle name instead of his first name. I still call him by his first name. My mother was trying for a while to call him by his middle name because it's now his official like government name. And I'm like, stop it. Just stop it. They even asked me, it's funny, when I went for my citizenship, they asked me if I wanted to change my name. I have, my maiden name is four T's, okay? So I have, Tina is my first name, my two middle names start with T, and then my maiden name also starts with T, right? Ooh, the AC, yes, because it's hot. So they asked me if I wanted to change the name, and I'm like, no. They're like, you don't want to drop a middle name? I'm like, no, I love my name. Like, my mom gave it to me. She had all the girls' names that she could think of. I was named after a couple of characters from a book she read, and then there was this track star that she liked. The point is, my middle names are very Jamaican. My middle T names are very Jamaican, okay? You know right away I'm Jamaican with those names. But my first name, Tina, is not as Jamaican, you know? You've heard Tina elsewhere, like Tina Turner, right? So Tina, easy peasy. My middle brother, also has an Indian middle name, but his first name is just a regular name, right? It's not a name that you automatically associate with a race either. It's just ambiguous. And it's funny because my cousin, my older cousin, has the same name. And when my mother named my brother, the middle one, that name, my aunt was like, why did you name him the same name as my son? So I have my brother and my cousin have the same first name. And that was funny because my mom was like, oh, I forgot that was his name. And it's like, because everybody has like a nickname. In Jamaica, it's funny. In Jamaica, it's like you have a nickname, right? So it's a name that your family and friends call you, but it's not necessarily your government name. But the thing is, it's not necessarily like a made-up name or a name that has to do with like a trait of you or something. Like I have a cousin that looks kind of Asian. He has like some features that look slightly Asian. So we've always called him Chin. Don't even get into how the racial issues with that, okay? We're not gonna get into how problematic some of these things are. Like my older brother, we called him Fata, and that was short for Fata Slab. That's how terrible Jamaicans are, okay? Some of y'all that talk about bullying, y'all would not survive in Jamaica because Jamaicans are awful. So they used to call my brother Fata Slab, yes, because he was fat, like he was a fatter kid, and they called him Fata Slab. And they shortened it to Fata, so it's like you go around with these awful names. Anyway, so my cousin, Chin, right? But other people have a nickname that is a regular name, right? So like my brother's baby mama, so my nephew's mother, her name, okay, what I've always known her as is Nikki, right? Nikki, easy, simple. That's not her name. And it's not short for like Monique, okay? It's a completely different name, and I'm like, how did they get Nikki out to her first name? I don't understand. Likewise, there are some names that it makes no sense how they arrived at that nickname. Like I know somebody that we call Ricky. We always called him Ricky, okay? Come to find out, it wasn't short for like Ricardo. His name is Marlon. Where did Ricky come from? Ask me. And it's not his middle name. So Jamaicans are crazy like that. Anyway, that's not the point. What was I saying? So my brother changed his name, wasn't able to change my nephew's name. We already call him a shortened version of his name. So it is what it is, right? We call him JT. Let me just give you, because his first name starts with a J and then the T is his last name. So we call him JT, right? Either way, whatever. The point is that he went, and I'm grabbing my Melt Cosmetics Blur eyeshadow. I'm getting ready and I just feel like talking to you guys. So he, ooh, I have some eyelash glue on my lashes. So that was one thing that I was always worried about. Like once he got to the college stage, would he be discriminated against because of his name? Like, do people automatically see his name and write him off, right? And it's a very sad reality, especially when you're going into PhD programs, right? Are you going to be accepted for the interviews, the internships, the fellowships, and all that, right? And it's not even about impressing them with your resume and qualifications and how you speak and, you know, how smart you are. Because my nephew is really smart. He's really well spoken. Like, he can get his points across, and he's an intellectual, and I love that for him. But you have to first get in the door so they'll give you a chance and hear you out, right? And once he gets in front of people, he's very impressive. Like, he's gotten a lot of opportunities because his professors love him. They sign him up for various programs and fellowships, and like, they're so impressed with him. So once you get to know him and you hear him speak and you get his drive, you're like, all right, yeah, this kid is great. I'm going in with another brand that I wanted to try this year. This is Glaminatrix. So I picked up 3 palettes from them. I have the Glamorous palette, which looks like so, right? Beautiful, colorful palette. with some purples and some greens and teals. Then we have the Nocturnal Palette. This one has like grungy tones, a pop of blue, like some really cute shades. And then I picked up the Nearly Natural palette. This took months and months and months to get to me, but you know, cute little palette. So I'm going to dig into all three of these palettes. I already picked out my outfit. So usually what I do is I dress based on how my makeup turns out, and I do my makeup just based on vibes, you know? This time around, I know what I'm wearing, so I already have it on, and I'm just going to build a look around what I'm wearing. So we're just gonna go with it, and if it doesn't work out that way, I'll change my outfit. What time is it? Time check, 4:07. Okay, I have 1 hour. All right, so let's dive into it. I've already been talking too long. Let me go into the neutral palette and grab this matte shade here. I'm probably not gonna tell you guys what I'm doing. Should I? No. I'll just use the eyeshadows because there will be like a review of these palettes at a later date. So, what was I saying? Yeah, so he's impressive on his own. Like, I am sure he's going to succeed, right? But his name on a resume written down can hinder him just a little bit depending on who is approving his application, right? Sad, sad reality, but here we are, right? So he's gotten through college, did really well. Like I said, he has scholarships and everything. And the next thing for these programs is to go through like a round of interviews. So you do like a Zoom interview at first, and then they do like an in-person interview. So he got through the Zoom interviews, like the first round of interviews for MIT, Mayo Clinic, USC, and I think there was another one, right? What palette should we use now? Let me go into this greeny shade. I'm gonna show you the shades, I'm just not gonna tell you what palette it is. So he got through the first round. So next up is the in-person, right? So he did the in-person for MIT, and he broke the bad news that he didn't get in. All right, fine. Now my nephew had grown his hair out, so he was rocking cornrows, right, to go to these interviews. He got them done in a really simple style to go to the interviews. So he went to MIT, he went to USC, and the next one would have been Mayo Clinic. So he didn't get into MIT, and he was crushed, right? He did the in-person for USC, and once he came back and got the bad news about MIT, my brother and his wife were like, maybe you should consider cutting your hair before you go for the Mayo Clinic interview, because that could be limiting you a little bit, because people are very judgmental and they're gonna see your name and then see your hair and judge you right away. Like, they're not gonna think you're serious about this, even if you have the grades and you know, you deliver well in the interviews and all that, right? They still judge. So he texted me and it broke my heart because he was so proud of his hair. It had finally grown enough where he could put it in a little man bun, like a little ponytail. So he was so happy with the growth, and now he was like, Auntie Tina, do you think I should cut my hair? And I'm like, yeah, you maybe want to cut it right now. You can always grow it back, right? But you're going to be discriminated against. You're black, okay? Right away, you're already being discriminated against. I'm going in with this lighter mustard shade. Still has like a green tinge to it, just to lighten up that crease. I should have gone in with it first and then gone in with the deeper green, but neither here nor there. So he asked me and I'm like, it's sad, but yeah, cut your hair. So he cut his hair and went in for his interview, and when he cut his hair, he looked so young because the hair kind of added to his age. Like, he looked his age. He's what, 21, 22? So he looked grown with the hair, but once he cut it, he looked like my little baby nephew that I left in Jamaica. Oh my God. I brought him home from the hospital too as a newborn because his mom, she was out of it, child. She was, I think, I was 18, so she was probably like 20 or 21. Young parents, my brother and that girl. But she was through, like she was done. And so I rode home with my little nephew in my arms. We didn't have a car seat. Jamaica, okay? No car seat. There was, can you imagine? No car seat at that time. This was 20 odd years ago. I had my little nephew in my arms, holding on for dear life because I didn't want to hurt him. He was so tiny. I was like, I don't want to break him. And I was responsible for keeping him safe until we got home. Good times. So I have like that special place for him, especially because it's like my firstborn nephew. Now I'm going to go into this darker brown. No, I don't want to use the dark brown. I want to use like a, let's do, let me use this green first. There's this other green right here. Let me use this one. And yeah, so I have that soft spot for him, right? I love all my nieces and nephews, but like you're gonna have that soft spot. Yeah, he's always gonna have a special place because he's my first, okay? Okay, and I brought him home from the hospital. Like, how can you not have like a little soft spot? Anyway, so he cut his hair, he did the in-person, and he got into Mayo Clinic, so he's gonna be in Michigan. Good luck with that cold, child. And like I said, he got an additional fellowship grant and travel stipend per year added to what he already had. So we're super proud of him, and we're going to Ruth Chris to celebrate because, you know, we want to eat steak. Well, I told my brother, I'm like, I feel like eating steak, and if I'm gonna eat steak, I'm going to Ruth Chris. Okay, it just is what it is. I don't eat steak a lot, but when I'm in the mood, it's gonna be Ruth Chris because I just love how their steak is. And I know it's cliche. A lot of people are like, Ruth Chris isn't even that great, but I personally like Ruth Chris, and I like how tender their meat is, and I like their sides. I don't care. I like it. Okay, so fight me. This is beautiful. All these shades kind of blended really well. So far, so good. I don't love the shimmers in palettes. I tend to gravitate towards the mattes, but I need a shimmer now. So yeah, that's what's going on. And it's just weird how I had like this thought already as a young kid about resume names and, you know, impressing the white folk. Like, so sad, but you know, whatever. I'm just happy he got in. I'm not gonna dwell. All right, let's go. Oh, I didn't tell you. So my brother changed his name. I meant to mention this. So he changed his name from the really Indian name. And remember, he had come like right after 9/11, where people had this thing about Middle Eastern sounding names. I'm using the Gucci Mattifying Primer for Shine Control. I just picked this up along with the Gucci foundation. You know what? I'm going to use the Gucci foundation too. The new one, I'm going to try it out. I think it should be fine. I'm not going out for too long, so we should be fine. So my brother couldn't get a job here in the US. It was awful, right? And he left as a project manager in Jamaica. What is this darkness? Lord child, I tell you, look out under the item, Zack. Tired. He could not get a job to save his life. Mind you, he didn't have US qualifications, right? So his degree is from a university in Jamaica, and his work experience obviously is from Jamaica. So they didn't really look at that as like, you know, the thing. I want to try their black. I kind of want to try their black, but I want to use very little. Let me get a little blending brush. Little tiny one. Let me use this one, BK Beauty 212, and dab into their black. So he could not get into a job to save his life, right? Next thing we know, when he went and did his citizenship, when I told you he swapped his middle name for his first name, swapped it around, he ended up getting interviews back to back to back to back to back. What does that tell you? Like, it's not a coincidence at that point, right? let's be real, it's not a coincidence. This country is awful like that. And I'm glad I grew up in Jamaica where I didn't have to experience any of that during my formative years. Like, I was not discriminated against. In fact, I probably benefited. I was on the lighter side. So in Jamaica, them call me browning. So it's like I benefited from colorism. Like, you know what I mean? And it wasn't a benefit that I liked. I kind of pushed against it. In fact, in high school, we call them the brown skin crew. So there was a group of girls. I went to an all girls school, Wilma's. There's a group of girls, all light skinned girls, all had money, right? And we call them the brown skin crew or the brown society, I think is, yeah, brown society, right? And they were just so bougie, obnoxious, like they thought they were so pretty and better than everybody, right? And they wanted me to be in the crew. I did not want to be friends with those girls. Cause me personally, I'm from Spanish Town. I'm not from New Kingston. I'm not from St. Andrew. You know, I'm not rich, right? I'm not poor like my mom tried to do her best to provide for us. She was a teacher. She actually had to leave her teaching job because my dad wasn't paying any child support. Like, don't even, okay? He was not helping to take care of us. So she had to leave Jamaica as a teacher to come here to work so she could afford to maintain the 3 kids, okay? So my mother busted her ass to provide for us. So we never went hungry, but we had like just enough to get by. We didn't have surplus. I couldn't go out and get new shoes and new clothes like right away. Like I wore the same school shoes for the whole year. Like that kind of setup, right? But I wasn't impoverished. But I grew up in Jamaica around poverty, and I had so many different friends, and I ran with so many different people that came from different socioeconomic classes. So I saw all of it, right? Like I was immersed in it. I was the girl that, I'm gonna go down the lane, right? Because my brother's baby mama, the one with the first 2 kids, she come from down the lane, right? She's a lane girl. I'm used to down the lane, right? And those places I wouldn't go now because they're dangerous as fuck. Okay, but like that was my childhood. Like that's how I grew up. In the lane, I go over Tinson Pen, like Marvelly, all these places. Like that was me, right? So I never had anything in common with those uptight uptown girls. Which color am I for use? Am I gonna use that one here now? Constellation. I was not impressed with those girls that thought they were better than people because I never thought I was better than people. I hated that. I loved the friends that I had. I loved how down to earth they were. And I love that they never thought like, oh, I'm hot shit. Like, So I kind of went against the grain that way because a lot of girls that look like me, and I hate to say it, but they stuck to a certain friend group and they tried to assimilate to this uptown vibe because them go school in a Kingston, and no, me never like that. Me never like that, okay? I'm just gonna be friends with people that are down to earth. They vibe with me, and that's what it is. And it's funny because I had so many friends growing up that were uptight, like from primary school and like neighbors in my community. They, like I had one friend for instance that she went to, I wish she got to Immaculate. Yeah, Immaculate. And this other one that went to Campion, right? They were neighbors. So like my brothers, and that's the great thing about having siblings and being in neighborhoods with like families with kids, because my brothers were friends with their older brothers, and so I ended up being friends with the little sisters. You know how that ends up working out? So I ended up with those friends. But these girls were like, they had more money, they lived in big houses, and they went to these hoity-toity schools, and I just couldn't be friends with them because, listen, okay, I speak patois. A lot of these girls, this is how it was in Jamaica. A lot of these girls, there was one at Spanish Town Primary, Winsome. Me never forget her yet. My brother was friends with her brothers at St. Jago High School, Jamaica, Spanish Town. So she was not allowed to speak patois. She had to speak standard English, right? That was just her thing. And I'm like, I can't vibe with you. And it's nothing against you, but I don't want to corrupt you. I do not want to corrupt you. Just like the girl from Immaculate, loved her. I loved her. We had so much fun together. But I was a little bit more rough and dirty, right? I was a little bit more vulgar. I was a little bit more of a tomboy. And these girls were gonna be pre-med, you know? And lawyers, and they don't skin their knees. I was a tomboy climbing trees and like getting down and dirty. So I almost didn't want to corrupt them. So I ended up not even extending the friendship beyond like a certain number of years. I don't know, like I didn't vibe with that stush. You know, stush girls, I wasn't stush, so I didn't want to be around stush girls. I wanted girls that were just down to earth, like regular, like could vibe out in a lane or vibe out uptown. Like you needed to be that chameleon for me. Okay, we're doing good on time. It's 4:30 and the eyes I think are almost, yeah, they're pretty much done. That shimmer, I like how smooth it is. It's not flaky, thank God, because I hate flaky shades. I kind of want to do, no, I think that's good. What do you think? That's good? I think that I kind of want to do something on the inner tear duct, but I don't know what to do. I don't want to go too sparkly because I feel like some of these shades are super sparkly. You know what? I'm going to leave it now. I'm going to leave it alone. Leave it alone. Yeah, and do like a vanilla on the inner tear duct. Yeah, no, you know what? Let me use this shade, Murky. I feel kind of extra. Let me do Murky, which is, yeah, like a pop of neon. It not really show up neon, you know. It not really showing up neon. But yeah, like I didn't have as much fun with those girls, right? Like they weren't rough enough for me. They didn't they didn't get down like I did. So I hung around with a lot of boys, and then my friends that ended up being my best friends, that are still my best friends, that are not uptight. They're still a little stush, not gonna lie. They're not as rough as I am. Okay, I grew up with boys. I'm just a little rougher, you know. I'm just a little bit more vulgar and a little bit rougher. But they were down to earth and they didn't take themselves too seriously. I'm gonna leave it at that tonight. If I want to come back and do something. Alright, I'm gonna gonna use the Gucci foundation right away there. Here it is. It is the 24-hour wear breathable foundation with a luminous matte finish. Luminous matte, we're gonna see what Gucci said is luminous matte. So yeah, good times. Good times. I had good times in Jamaica. I'm gonna use a little bit of this Diffusion Dew from Make Beauty as well. It is a dewier foundation and I'm putting a drop of it in the Gucci just to see, like, let me mix something up. Let me do a little concoction, okay? Let me do a little something. Oh my God, let me use this Allure brush. Oh, I found this in my collection. I'm like, why wasn't I using this? So this is the Smooth Canvas Foundation brush. Grab that and apply this foundation. So yeah, we're going to celebrate. And I'm going to have the rib eye. Oh my God, I love a rib eye. And I'm gonna have it with the, what is that called? The Oscar style, which is the crab meat. So yeah, I don't feel that great. I think I might be coming down with something, but it doesn't make any sense. It's been like a week and a half. We'll see. We'll see. So have you guys seen the JACLYN Hill video, the newest one that she posted? I saw it, didn't watch it because I'm not subscribed to her, but I saw snippets of it on Twitter from Jen Loves. She posted like snippets of the video where JACLYN was just saying really bothersome things, like problematic things, and she was just lying out her ass. What is that about? Like, that is such foolishness. JACLYN Hill, let's be real, okay? She is an influencer through and through. She's a used car salesman, okay? She will try to sell you any and everything. From she gets up in the morning till she goes to sleep at night, she's trying to sell you her lifestyle. She'll sell you her coffee mug, her robe, her eyelashes, her foundation, like anything that she could sell, she's trying to sell it. She is just a pusher. She's a marketer. She could be a serious pimp or drug dealer. That's how much of a shill she is. From the onset, like since she started YouTube, she's always been a salesperson. Oh my god. And her followers, woo! And I used to follow her. I used to like her. Like the original JACLYN videos, I used to watch them and like them. But she became such a pusher of Morphe that I couldn't watch anymore. I was just over it because I tried Morphe and I realized that their quality was kind of trash. So I didn't want to continue using them. And that's all she spoke about. And I knew better. So I just stopped watching her. But her followers are cult-ish at this point. They will go to bat for that girl. Child. So she did this get ready with me video. Right? Just like a normal tutorial get ready with me. She spoke through a lot of her techniques. I watched like a little part of her video. And she was talking through her techniques and I just stopped watching because I didn't really care that much. I don't need to watch tutorials. Like, I'll watch a get ready with me, but I'm not doing all that. And it was like 40 something minutes long. Do you guys see the irony and hypocrisy of that statement? Because this video is probably going to be an hour long and all I'm doing is chatting. But at the same time, I'm not like giving you techniques or tips or tricks. This foundation is cute. The shade I picked up, did I tell you, is 360W. It's cute. Feels a little bit like makeup. Doesn't feel very lightweight. That's fine. Oh, concealer. So she's talking about all the makeups that she's putting on. And like half of them are her brand, JACLYN Cosmetics, or some Morphe collaboration or something. Like the entire video was just her pushing her brands as she usually does. I'll be right back. I need a sponge. Do y'all know what concealer that was that I just put on? I think it was the Sephora Better Skin. I don't know. But yeah, she was pretty much like promoting all her products and her collaborations. And I'm not doubting that she uses those products a lot. Like, let's be real. She created them. She created them in her style and her preferences. And she made shades that work for her. So obviously, she's going to use her makeup. So I have no doubt that she truly uses the makeup. But it felt a little sales pitchy. Anyway, during the video, she was also making comments about like her brand, her brand, her brand, her brand, and it's like, it's not your brand, right? And she was talking about how people want her to address issues and talk about like what's going on with her business. And then she was talking about cancel culture and Jeffree Star because she used a eyelash curler from him that she likes. This is the NARS powder, the new NARS powder. I'm just setting my face. I feel like this brush has some dark powder on it because that just darkened up a bit. Let me go in with my Smashbox brush instead. So she was just running off at the mouth, right? So she just kept saying my brand, and we all know by now JACLYN Cosmetics is not her brand. Cozy, which is the, what is it, like loungewear? I don't know. I don't care that much. I think that is still her brand. And then she has a jewelry line, the Roxanne brand. Is that what it's called? I don't care. So she has these two companies that seem to be under her control, but JACLYN Cosmetics is under Morphe through Jaclyn Hill Holdings that Morphe owns, right? So Morphe is the owner of JACLYN Cosmetics, and she's still talking about, oh, this powder from JACLYN, this is my brand. And Morphe's now filing for bankruptcy, so there are questions about it, and people are uncovering the court documents that are showing that she was never the CEO or owner of JACLYN Cosmetics. And it's like she's doubling down like, no, it's my brand. And it's like, no, it's not. Stop it. Like, it's not. But she keeps like feeding this narrative that she's this girl boss, and it's like, listen, you can still be proud of your accomplishments because you did accomplish a lot. You are still one of the top influencers from YouTube history. So you're not selling yourself short by saying that it's not your brand, it's just your name and likeness. You're still like the face of the brand, and that's fine. Like, it's okay to be the face of your brand, but you don't own it, okay? You have a company that owns it and is doing the majority of the work for you. Let's be clear on that. I am going to use one of the House Labs blushes. I just did a get ready with me using them, and I want to use another one. So I'm gonna use Watermelon Bliss. You hear my AC, sorry about it. It's hot. So it's like, it's fine to just admit that you don't own the brand, right? You're not the CEO, but she's been driving home this CEO boss bitch thing for so long that she can't admit that she's wrong. And there are always gonna be people like that that can't admit that they're wrong, even when it's like thrown in their face. Like, the documents are there showing that JACLYN is actually one of their creditors. They owe her money, okay? Because she needed to get her royalties for the use of her name and her likeness, but she never actually owned the brand. But she can't fess up. Like, she's just gonna go to the grave holding on to my brand, my brand, my brand. And it's just like, it's tired. It's so tired, and I'm over her. And I don't get why I guess people too, you know what, I do understand, because people want to hold on to the JACLYN Hill of yesteryear that they followed and they've invested in, and they bought her recommendations and her collaborations and all the products that, you know, she's told them to buy. And it's fine, because I have bought some of those products. I think we all have at this point. We've probably purchased something that she recommended, and we've probably even liked it, you know? And it's not to say that she's necessarily telling you to buy terrible products, except for Morphe. Morphe was bad. Some of those products from Morphe were terrible. But she had some good recommendations at times, and that girl can apply makeup. Like, she's really good at applying makeup. So it's like, I get it. I get the intrigue, and she's personable and she's likable. But at what point are you going to just hang it up? She's a liar, and she said, oh, business is business, and she took a dig at the Cozy owner. So there's another influencer, I think her name is CHATTY. She owned a loungewear brand where she sold merch and like sweatpants and like those kinds of things that are similar to what JACLYN's selling. And she has like all these different things under that brand. And JACLYN went ahead and named her loungewear brand Cozy, same spelling and everything, but this girl hadn't trademarked the Cozy name. So JACLYN just named her brand that and kept pushing. The girl reached out to JACLYN and was like, hey, I already have my brand under that name, and you know, you're much more popular than me, so my brand's pretty much gonna get hidden in the search engines. Like, your brand is gonna pop up first, and we sell similar things, so can you just change the name, change the spelling, something? And JACLYN ignored that girl, and the girl had to close her little brand down, child. And she had a decent following too. It's not like she was a micro influencer. She had a decent little following, but she could not compete with the influence of JACLYN Hill. So the girl had to shut down her brand and start over, child. And JACLYN made like a dig at her when she was talking about a IT Cosmetics brush. She was like, oh, at least they trademarked it. And I'm like, you bitch. Like, she is a bitch. At the end of the day, she is and I'm gonna say it and I don't care, she's a flaming cunt. And it's awful. Like, it's so bad. And then she used the Jeffree Star lash curler, right? And she was talking about how it has like a wider opening like for the lash curler, so it's better than other lash curlers that she's tried. And she's like, oh, I know you guys are probably gonna cancel me because I mentioned Jeffree Star. And it's like, I don't care. It's like, I'm anti-cancel culture. And it's like, I hate when people are just broad brushing accountability with this negative connotation that they've assigned to cancel culture. And it's like, it's called accountability. And she's like, I'm anti-cancel culture. I'm gonna use what I want to use, and I'm not canceling anybody. So what she's saying is that she's okay with Jeffree Star and his history. She's fine with it. It doesn't bother her because it doesn't affect her directly. And then she brought up Michaela Negro, where she was like, oh yeah, no, I'm not canceling Michaela, and it's like she's grouping Jeffree Star in with Michaela, and it's like, that's not how that works. That's not how any of this works. Like, that's not what anybody was saying. Like, why are you grouping racism in with just misleading advertising with lash inserts for mascara sponsorship? Like, why would you do that, right? But she's trying to minimize what Jeffree did by grouping it in with what Michaela did, because I'm sure most people are like, what Michaela did is not necessarily worth canceling her or boycotting her over. It's something that we just have to be more aware of and just, you know, take everything she says with a grain of salt. But it's not cancelable. And then she tried to say, oh, the same thing goes for Jeffree Star, and it's like, no, that's not how it's not how any of this works. But I see the privilege of JACLYN Hill. She doesn't have to worry about things that don't affect her directly. She doesn't care. Isn't she the one that posted Kathleen Lights saying the N-word so flippantly? Yes, she sure did, without even batting an eye. She does not care. She does not care about consequences. She's just like, I'm a rich white woman out here, and because I had addiction issues and I was slightly under the wealthy line, that makes me more relatable because I went through the struggle. And it's like, your family had money. Don't do that. Don't do that. The struggle that you had was chosen. Don't do that. You just went through a rough patch, but you have the privilege of having a family that can back you up and support you in certain things, and you have your white skin. So like, you know, she's not going to be affected by certain things that Jeffree Star says, because to her it doesn't matter. It's not hurtful for her. And you know, that's the privilege of not having to care. And that's fine, like, you know, whatever to you, but I care, and Jeffree Star will never see a dime of my dollars, and neither will JACLYN Hill anymore. Because like I said, I was one of the people that watched JACLYN Hill in the start, and I bought some of the products that she recommended, and I liked her. I watched her videos. I did like her. And I gave her grace for an extended period of time. Like, there was a long time that I would still watch her videos. Didn't buy anything she sold, but now I just think she is an awful person, especially after the cozy thing. Like, it shows how cutthroat she is. And she mentioned that. She was like, it's business. And I'm like, did you just use capitalism to excuse poor behavior? Wow, I know it's business and people tend to be a little bit more cutthroat in business and you get away with being not so nice, but you are still a person at the end of the day, and it's like your business is built on your personality and you as a person. It's not like Google, that's a corporation, right? It's still JACLYN Hill at the end of the day. So you're just showing how nasty you are of a person, that you'll just do anything to succeed and get money. You don't care if you lie, you don't care if you cheat, you don't care if you steal from smaller creators, you don't care who you have to step on to get to the top. And that's a nasty person, and I can lump her in now with Jeffree Star as just a nasty person. And I don't wish her anything bad, but I don't wish her great success either, because people like that should not succeed. Like, we should not be rewarding bad behavior. No, it's just nasty. She is nasty and I don't like her. I don't like her. And I really liked her for a long time. Like I said, I granted her grace. I was like, just this privileged white girl just going on about white girl things. But now I can say I don't like her one bit. I don't like her at all. I don't think she's not a good person. All right, I'm gonna put some jewelry on and then figure out a lip. It's gonna be a simple lip because I'm gonna go eat steak. And I don't think I'm gonna put, I might put lashes on. I'll think about it, but I'll be back in a bit. All right, guys, so I am back. Jewelry is on. I am feeling cute. I smell good. Like, Don't get me started, all right? So I did go ahead and pop on some eyelash clusters. These are the Impress Press-On Falsies from Kiss. I have a Get Ready With Me video where I spoke in length about these lashes, and I also demoed how to apply them. So I just popped on 2 clusters. These are the curly style, which are a little bit more intense. I just popped on 2 sets, 1 long, 1 medium, and I didn't have to put on a full strip, and they look really good. The eyeshadow looks great, really loving it. Now we're gonna do some lips. I thought about doing highlighter, but I don't feel like it. So for the lips, we're gonna do something easy because we're gonna eat, so I don't need like a full-on lip. So I'm gonna do something nude. So I'm gonna grab a nudie lip liner. This is Rent Due from Patrick Star One Size. It's just a nude lip liner, and I'm just creating a little bit of an outline to my lips. I have lip balm on. I use the Fenty, what's that little thing? This little Fenty lip balm. Fenty Skin Push Put In Intensive Recovery Lip Mask. It's just a lip balm. And I'm just gonna do a little outline to my lips. This is like a warm lip pencil, like I said. Nothing crazy because I'm gonna eat food, right? And then for the lipstick, I'm gonna use this Hourglass satin lipstick, the unlocked satin lipsticks. The shade I have here is Shore, which is 306. It's a beautiful nude. It's so pretty. And these are very juicy lipsticks. They're not quite like the lip balms now that we're seeing, like those really juicy lip balms. Makeup by Mario has them, Tarte has them, quite a few brands have them. So, really pretty. This is more like a creamy lipstick versus a lip balm. And then a little lip oil from Amicole. This is the shade Bliss. It's the pinky shade. I love the nude, but the pink is probably my favorite because it works so well with nudes. The brown one, which is the original one, which I also love, kind of darkens up the lips just a little bit. You see the difference? And the pink one just adds a little, like, come on! So here is the final look. I'm not gonna do highlighter or anything, but let me show you my outfit really quick. I know, oh my god, let me show you. So this little romper is from Guess. It's like a summery romper. It would be perfect for vacation, but I'm in a tropical climate, so I'm allowed to wear said romper, right? I love a romper because it's just like a one piece and done, but it buttons down the front. The bottom is like a full piece, so you have to pull it on and then button it up. It's collared, rolled up sleeves, and it has a little fabric belt that you tie. Cinch it, cute, 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 cute. And then my shoes, I was gonna wear wedges, but I decided against it. So I'm wearing my, what shoes are these? These are from Macy's, but it's the White Mountain. I tried these on in my shoe haul. They are just like a little sandal with a little chain detail, like cute, right? Cute. My little bag, cheap little bag that I picked up at some random store. Don't matter. Listen, we don't get all expensive with bags. And I got my Ray-Bans because it's sunny outside and we about to stunt for no reason. Like, how obnoxious am I? Y'all hate me, I hate me too, but oh my god, okay, oh my god. But anyway, I'm gonna be driving, so I need my sunglasses, child. Anyway, here is the final look. Really had fun with it. The eyeshadows, really impressive. The foundation, kind of cute. I'm gonna see if it holds up because it seems to be holding up pretty well right now. I look matte. The primer was comfortable. The blush, love it. All the things, okay? I love all the things. I'm using things that I love, like, let's be real. So here you have it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, getting ready with me and just chatting, okay? Just chatting, which is what I love to do. All right. I will leave a full list of all the products used and mentioned down below in the description box, along with links on where you can pick them up. If there is an asterisk next to any of those links, that indicates that it is an affiliate link, which means I will get a small sales commission if you make a purchase through those links. It's a great way to show you support for the channel because it gives me a kickback for you making a purchase. Wait, why am I out of breath? Y'all, pray for me. It gives me a kickback for you using my links. It doesn't change the sale price. It just gives me a little, something because I put you on. If you're not comfortable with that, just shop the way you normally shop. No muss, no fuss. I'm still happy you're here watching. Leave me a comment. Give me a thumbs up. Share with your friends. All that good stuff because that also helps my channel. And I will also leave links to my Instagram and Twitter where you should be following me along. And until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye, guys.